What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch back here for another NFL draft grade video. This video is going to be discussing the Miami Dolphins 2018 draft. The Miami Dolphins, a team that has a sneaky decent roster, a team that had to go through the whole Jay Cutler experience last year at the quarterback position, has had a lot of struggles with the Ryan Tannehill situation, being injured two of the last 2 seasons. So being injured a majority of last year and then being injured for the entirety of this past season. The Dolphins going through a little bit of a change. They brought in numerous free agents. Actually guys that are considered veterans in the league. You look at a Danny Amendola at receiver, Albert Wilson as well. They bring in Frank Gore at running back as an insurance option. You look at the offensive line, Josh Sitton they brought in there. Traded for Robert Quinn on the defensive line. Got rid of Ndamukong Suh. So this Miami Dolphins team is kind of up in the air as to what they are going to bring and what product they're going to bring to the NFL field this season. But in this draft, I felt it was decent. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I gave it a B overall for the Miami Dolphins. Looking at their first round pick, 11th overall, they get a do-it-all safety from Alabama. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a do-it-all Malcolm Jenkins type of player. He can play slot corner. He can play strong or free safety. So basically what Minkah Fitzpatrick gives you is he gives you a rotation at safety, and he gives you a player that can fill in at slot corner and do a lot of different things. And I think Miami really did need that type of ace up their sleeve on defense, a player that can just do a lot of things and match up with some tight ends and do that. And I think Minkah Fitzpatrick will definitely fit a need for the Dolphins and immediately be an impact game changer. Maybe not necessarily in terms of big plays, but he's going to be a guy that's going to give you a player that can just do a lot of things and do those things well. So Minkah Fitzpatrick in the first round. Then you have Mike Giuseppe in the second round from Penn State. This guy is basically a red zone target, a touchdown catching machine. And Adam Gase, I think, will love this guy. He, back in the day, had a lot of success with the tight end position from his coaching past. And now he really needs a target to go to at that tight end position to draw plays up for and draw schemes up for. And really, Miami's tried the Julius Thomas experience, tried the whole Jordan Cameron thing. They haven't had a great tight end in quite some time. And really ever. I mean, have the Dolphins ever had a great tight end? Anthony Fasano was decent at one point. But it's just been a long list of okay average tight ends in Miami's system. And now they get Mike Giuseppe, a guy that I think is more of a receiver than a blocker, but certainly could turn out to be a pretty good receiver and could certainly be a piece that in the same way that an Evan Ingram is used in New York, maybe not the same speed or athleticism, but a guy that certainly can go over the middle and catch the football and will definitely help their red zone offense out. And I think, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy scored 7-8 touchdowns in his rookie year, because I think they'll be looking to hit him in the red zone. So this was a solid ad, maybe not a huge, go-to right-away player for them because he still has a little bit to develop. But as a pass catcher, he can certainly add something to this offense. Then you got Jerome Baker in the third round, a pure speed linebacker. They certainly needed to add depth at that position. Kiko Alonso, some of their other guys are getting a little bit older here, and Baker can definitely add a little bit more athleticism to the position. I think that was definitely needed. They got another tight end, not my favorite pick here in the fourth round. They also added another running back from Arizona State. He's a reliable pass catcher, explosive, but I don't really know if he's going to be a guy that's going to contribute much, because you have Kenyon Drake, who I think is a really solid player. They added Frank Gore, which I think Frank Gore is done at this point, but I mean, it's his last year probably of his career, so why not give it a chance? And we'll see what happens. But I don't know. And then you have another pick in the 7th round, another linebacker from Ohio, Quentin Poling. I don't know too much about him, but I just think adding that position was big for Miami. Adding a couple linebackers, adding some competition to the kicker conversation with Sanders in the 7th round. We'll see. He's very accurate according to scouts, but not the strongest leg. So we'll see. They haven't really had a great kicker over the last few years, so certainly adds competition. But I think when you look at the draft for Miami, I think it's all about their first couple of picks, and it's Fitzpatrick and Joseki, and possibly they have two players that can be playmakers on both sides of the ball for them. But I would give this draft a B because I think, they add some athleticism to both sides of the ball. They add some playmaking ability to both sides of the ball, but I don't necessarily think that they filled all their needs. Their offensive line is okay. I think that they did certainly add a tight end, which will help. But you look at their team, and they could have certainly added someone on the defensive line, especially in the interior where they missed out on a player to replace Ndamukong Suh. I liked what they did in the linebacker position. I like what they did at safety, but you still probably need to consider picking up a corner. They had a lot of needs that they needed to go after, but I think that they did address some of them, so I'm going to give them a B. I also like some of the players that they did grab, so I think Miami had a fairly decent draft, just not one of my favorite this year.